Hi everybody. What we're doing today is just quickly show you how to do grain jar inoculation, show you how easy this is. And I just got some stuff in from the Mycelium Emporium. This was a free one. This is a black reishi, which is pretty interesting. This is Sinense. Haven't grown this one before. It'd be pretty interesting. This is how you'll get a syringe from Lenny. And you'll notice you can't really see it, but this is full up to the top. There's usually at least 10 milliliters of a good culture. And I just checked these out. This one's pretty thick. It's got a lot in it. Now you may notice there's a bubble in here. And that bubble is so that you can shake this up. That helps shake up and break up any lumps or really thick bits of mycelium in there. And this is pretty well shaken. And he'll also send you a needle per each syringe. And a little tip, buy some extra ones of those if you plan on storing any of this for a later use, so that you don't have to try and clean and sterilize this needle. You can just toss this one, use a new one. They're pretty inexpensive. And the other things I have, you see I've got some paper towels out on my work area. I got something to wipe down jar lids with, and I use these cotton pads, but you can use a folded up paper towel. I've also got one here that's folded in half, and I'll show you what that's for. My little sprayer of alcohol. I've got a little container here that's got isopropyl in it, and I also have this twist off tool that Lenny sells. I would definitely suggest getting one of these. Working with these caps can be a little funky sometimes, and if you drop one and it rolls away, you're kind of screwed. You've got a syringe that you can't close up again. And the other thing is a flame source. Now this is what I use. I use a micro torch. The other thing that you might see around, let me grab mine real fast, is, been a while since I used it. It's one of these. This is a open flame type. This is a coil, a wickless one. It's got a wick inside there. You fill this up with denatured alcohol. You let that wick up, and you can fire this up. If you use this kind, keep it away from your work area. Take it away a ways, couple 3 feet, because you will be spraying a little alcohol. There's going to be some vapors and stuff, and that stuff can ignite. A lot less likely with the torch, but with this, with an open flame, it'll ignite. And that's another reason why you have this folded paper towel here, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray stuff down. Just get a little damp with some of this isopropyl, which is what I'm using, but you can use methanol also. Do not use methanol with alcohol. And you notice what I'm doing is I'm taking this folded over and I'm wetting it down. And what that is for, so while I'm waiting to work with things, I can have them covered up so no dust or anything is settled. Now, what I do is I peel this so that it's facing down, and give a little squirt and put it right under there for right now. Now, here's a tip. It's really important that once you've shaken this up, you're going to take this cap off. Keep this up or in the horizontal position at all times. Do not tilt it up. If you tilt it up, you're rocking that little air bubble around, and that can actually draw outside air into the syringe and contaminate it. Now with the twist off tool, I just give that a little twist, drop it right into the alcohol, give it a shot. And then I'm just going to lift this up and very quickly attach my syringe to it. Give it another little spray. I do overdo it with the alcohol a little bit, some people say, but it works for me. And then keep this little container covered up so you're not producing a lot of vapors. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my jars, and I already sprayed them down once. I'll give them another spray. And I'll take the first one I'm going to work with here. And this is millet and milo with some hardwood fuel pellets that were put in the bottom of the jar when I processed them in the pressure canner, and then I shook these up when they were still warm, and then again here earlier today. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wipe that down, and you can add a little, make sure you're getting all any little debris off. anything that might get pushed into the jar with the syringe. Now I'm going to take my syringe out, take the cap off, and keep the cap off to the side where you know where it is. Keep this pointed down, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to flame that needle. And people tell you keep it on there for 10-15 seconds. You know, it's getting nice and red hot. That's enough. Some people will tell you to push through the needle to cool it down. I don't do that either. Now go in here at an angle. If you notice what I'm doing, going in at an angle, finding my sweet spot, and then injecting. And if you do that, you'll never miss it, and you won't skip off the top of the lid and jam yourself in the hand with it. Trust me, you don't want to do that. Now, this is how I inject. Some people try to do this, but I'm finding if you do this and just squeeze your hand, it works better. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt the jar and tilt the needle over, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And I have just a little bit left. What I'm doing is, because this is a nice thick mycelium, I'm injecting 3 milliliters into each jar. Minimum for one of these quart jars, build this up, is 2 milliliters. Trust me, you can get away with 1. It's going to take a long time, and why go through all that? So withdraw the needle, I get a little shot of the alcohol, and I put it right back up underneath that damp paper towel that's been damped with the alcohol, and then I'll do another jar. And you may have noticed I flamed that brand new needle. Always do that. I always do that. Why take chances? They are sterile, but hey, what the heck, right? So I'm going to take my needle back out. And it's been sitting on there so it won't get anything settling on it, and I'm keeping it angled down, and I'll flame it again. Now keep the flame pointed away from your work surface. You don't want this to flame up. Another little spray. I've already cleaned this jar, and inject, and then again 1, 2, 3, 4, and I check to see how much. I still got a mil, so I'll put a little bit more in each corner, and there you have it. Now we've got a couple of a few mils left over, and I may very well want to try and use that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap this thing. So here's another little tip. Go in here, hold your needle steady, and go in with your free hand with the cap and put it on. Alright, there you go. And that way, again, you don't want to jab yourself. Now, to recap, and you don't want to leave this needle on for more than a day or so, I'm just going to twist that off. This is soaking in alcohol. Shake it off a little bit, and then use that twist tool to get it on there nice and straight, just till it's tight. Don't force it. And then just check to make sure that cap is on there straight, and there you go. You've got another couple of jars or so that you can use this on, and this will store at room temperature for quite a long time, months. And I've pulled these things out months at a time, and they're good. And the last thing you're going to do, toss that old needle, and then I'm going to mark my jars up. I just use a marker on the tin foil. That's another reason why we have the tin foil. Remember, always keep the tin foil on here. It keeps things from settling on the top of the jar, and it won't interfere with the gas exchange, but it will help keep your filter material clean. So this is a black reishi, and it's 811. Now, some people will tell you to shake these jars after you get done. Don't. Do not shake this jar at this point. Do not shake. I'll say that again. Do not shake these jars at this point. Leave these alone. Just if the grain came a little uneven and you can see it's a little sloped in there, that's fine. Just leave it. These are ready. If you shake them at this point, it's going to interfere with the colonization. It really doesn't help. It actually hurts. So just put these in a dark place. People are wrong about light's good for them. Light is not good for them. Put them in a dark place at a constant temperature. And I keep a closet right around 75 degrees in the house. And it's got a shelf in there, a wire shelf in there with a fan going for constant air movement. And that's where I store mine until they're completely colonized. Now, you can shake these at about 30% colonized. When you see good streaks, you can if you want to. I normally don't, and it's one of the reasons why we squirt down these corners, is because that mic is gonna, you'll see it start to colonize on top and slowly spread down towards the bottom, and it'll colonize across the bottom and along the sides and all fill out. And there's no need to shake at that point. So there you have it. It's just that easy, just that fast. And I wish you the best of luck, and be sure to get the tools and get all your LC from the Mycelium Emporium.